Well, folks, we got a good show for you here today. We're out here on the North Fork of Long Island, sailing out of Greenport on the Peconic Star. You know what time it is? It's Porgy time. That's what time it is. And we're on the Peconic Star with Captain Dave Brennan, one of the premier Porgy boats in the whole metropolitan area. You can see we're in the Orient Point Lighthouse up there, so we're fishing off of Orient. We're going to make our first stop today up in the gut. We got the top of the flood. It's going to be a little tough fishing here today. We'll see what happens. You get a lot of hard tides up here, and thank God we're not on the moon, all right? So we're going to have some hard tide up here. We're going to fish a slack water in the gut, bounce around, may hit New London, may bounce around some of the other areas for you, but it's a good day. We got cloudy weather. That's good for porgies because they don't like a lot of bright sunlight. I hope it's going to be a good day. So stay with us. We're coming up next right here on the fishing line.
All right, folks, celebrating our second decade, it's time for the Northeast premier fishing show, The Fishing Line with Rich Johnson. The Fishing Line is brought to you by Boaters World, boating and fishing for the world, Boaters World. And by the Outdoor Channel, real outdoors for real people, the Outdoor Channel. Also brought to you in part by Bomber Lures, Tie One On. Silver Thread Line, Performance Technology Line. Yum Baits, start a feeding frenzy. Daiichi Hooks, the world's sharpest hooks. Yamaha, when you want the best. And by Lipa, the power of change.
Hey folks, you've been coming to the fishingline.com site for years for the only up-to-the-minute fishing reports on the web. Now get the same great reports 24 hours a day by telephone. That's right, the new Fishing Line report line is up and running, and best of all, it's free. No membership fees, no pay-by-the-minute fees that cost you nothing. A free phone call for the best updated reports 24 hours a day, all by phone. Call 516-977-2088, 516-977-2088.
Silver Thread, Performance Technology Fishing Line.
Its marine-inspired 16-valve double overhead cam electronic fuel-injected design makes it the world's first 150-horsepower 4-stroke EFI outboard. Turn-the-key reliability makes it a Yamaha. Its versatility makes it one of a kind. The new Yamaha F-150, whisper quiet, fuel-efficient, clean-burning, and rivals the acceleration of a V6 two-stroke. It's part of Yamaha's family of exceptionally reliable 4-strokes for 2004.
The Outdoor Channel is the channel you've been waiting for. We bring you the real outdoors with hours of hunting action each and every day. If real outdoor entertainment is what you're looking for, then you need the Outdoor Channel. Call your cable provider, let them know that you want the only real outdoor network, the Outdoor Channel.
The North Fork's angling opportunities are many and offer the same to our Rhode Island and Connecticut neighbors. Our wide open spaces still have family farms, the bounty of which can be found at roadside stands. Our destination this week is Greenport and our piscatorial quarry for today's angling adventure, Jumbo Porgies on the Peconic Star with Captain Dave Brennan. So check it, so we're sitting here on the Peconic Star now. We're making our first drift here in the gut. We're on the drift because we don't have a lot of wind. We're kind of working the slack tide, so things are working out here. We're in deep water. I'm starting off with probably a 10-ounce sinker just to hold bottom here, but on the slack it'll be okay as the tide picks up. Then we'll have to start making some moves around and work some of the other areas. Ooh, I had a bite. There we go. I think they're here. I had a bite. There's a big jump. Oh, there's a big one right here. Look at that. Man, oh man, that's a big porgy. There we go. RJ's in. Yeah, baby. Woo! Oh, this feels like a good one. There we go. Look at this baby. Come on. On the top hook. There's a keeper. Oh, man, look at that. You can barely get your hand around them. Look at that. Beautiful colors on these babies. Look at all this blue along the edges, blue along there. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. That's a good looking fish. And that fish is going home. Yeah, baby. Woo! Oh, Lord, look at that. That is a giant porgy. Look at this monster. Hold that one back up, Kelly. No, the big one you threw in the bucket. Oh man, there we go. Woo! The finest kind. These porgies are taking drag out. Wow. Oh, that's a big one. Look at that.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. Woo, man, oh man, they almost feel like they got teeth on them. Look at that. Ooh, baby, that's gonna taste good. Look at that, back in the bucket right there, there's two. Yeah, man, oh man. The best way to hook the clam baits when you're porgy fishing, just once. You want it to swing in the current, you want it to swing when you're jigging your rod. You do not want to wrap your clam around the hook so it's a glob. You want that laying off just like that. Now we just take this, put it down the bottom. There we go. Yeah, baby. Oh, ooh, man. It's a humpbacks. Wow, these fish are fighting. I'm using a 2-0 octopus hook. These fish are so big. Man, oh man. Here we go. There's a nice one right there. Nothing wrong with that. Man, these are hard fighting porgies. Woo, baby. Look at this, my Daiichi 2-0. It's a good sized hook. I might even use a 1-0. All right, I came out here with the 2-0s. By using a little bit larger hook, what I'm doing is I'm eliminating a lot of the small little 9 and 10-inch porgies. Remember, the limit's got to be 10.5 inches. So by using a little bit larger hook like this 2-0, I catch larger porgies and I have to ignore some of the smaller bites. So it's just something you want to keep in mind. You can weed away a lot of the smaller fish by using a slightly larger hook than a typical normal size porgy hook that you'll get on usual boats. So we'll just rig up again. As another thing up here is we're kind of working the baits, almost like when you're fluke fishing. We're lifting the rod. We're just lifting the rod to give the bait a little bit of motion here, because a little bit of motion actually it helps attract some of the fish here. So we're just kind of lifting the rod like you would if you were fluke fishing. Just kind of lift the rod, work the rod a little bit. And if you get one, keep it down there. It's almost like herring fishing. If you get a fish and you keep them down there for a second, not a long time, just for a second or two, that allows you to get double headers sometimes. I've seen some guys use 3 hooks and catch 3 at a time. So I'm on the bottom already. So just to show you what I'm talking about, I'm gonna lift the rod a little bit, almost like I'm bouncing the sinker off the bottom. So I'm working the bottom. Sometimes I just let it sit still, and then I'll come off the bottom a little bit and I'm working it. But I always want to maintain contact with the bottom. If I have to, I'll let out some line, let it go down the bottom again, real tight, and just kind of work the rod up and down a little bit. Just let it drift, almost like that gets the bait moving in the current there. There we go. Oh yeah! Oh man, porgy time is right. Woo! Man, oh man. Double header here to my left, and I got a jumbo here. Woo! Man, that's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Man, oh man. Look at that. Woo! Good.
It's time for our tip of the week, brought to you by Boaters World, boating and fishing for the world.
You know, folks, if you find you're having a hard time fishing in a hard-running current like we are today, take a look around and watch what some of the other guys are doing. There's a famous porgy fisher in the bow, and I found out what he was doing. He's putting the line down the bottom, and instead of lifting like the rest of us on the boat, he's just cranking the handle a little bit at a time, a few inches at a time, and playing the string in his fingers like a guitar string, feeling the bite. Because what happens is when they bite in a hard current like this, porgies, they see a piece of bait, they rush right to it, they stop it, they put their mouth on it, say that's a good piece of bait, and off they go. So by the time you feel that bite, he's already got the bait in his mouth and he's gone already. So what's happened is we're trying to ambush them instead of having the porgy ambush us. And to do that, we're just kind of cranking up a little bit of time, playing a line in your finger, come up a little bit more, play the line in your finger a little bit, and wait and wait and wait. If you don't get anything, come up. And then when you feel like you're too far off the bottom, you just put it back in free spool and start it over again. That's our Boaters World tip of the week.
Does this look familiar? Try shopping at Boaters World. Everything for boating, for fishing, for better times. Boaters World. Deep, deep discounts on over 20,000 marine products.
Hey fishermen! For the most comprehensive reports and fishing information on the internet, log on to www.thefishingline.com. Thefishingline.com has fishing reports for boats, surf, freshwater, or party and charter boats for Long Island's tri-state area. Now you can listen to the Fishing Line radio show live on the web, Saturdays at 4 p.m. or see video clips of the TV show. Know where they are, not where they were, with thefishingline.com. What you need to know in fishing, it's www.thefishingline.com.
So, what can we do to conserve electricity? Yeah.
Turn off the lights when I leave a room.
Okay.
Turn off the air conditioner before we leave the house, right?
Right, and set the thermostat to 78 degrees. Use timers and clean the air filters.
What about those funny looking light bulbs?
You mean energy efficient light bulbs? Great idea. And tell your parents to buy products with the Energy Star label. They'll conserve energy and save even more money on their electric bills.
LIPA. More choice. Better service.
The Montauk Yacht Club has been a public resort and marina since the mid-'80s. With over 200 slips, the marina is a perennial favorite for overnight or season-long stays. Yachting Magazine named Montauk Yacht Club one of the top 10 destinations in America, Mexico, and the Caribbean. With beautiful baths, luxurious rooms, and wireless internet access, the Montauk Yacht Club is tastefully elegant, relaxing, and invitingly fresh for wedding or corporate functions, with dining and lounge just steps away.
Dave Brennan, August 1st, beautiful day, not too hot, not too much wind, and we're porgy fishing.
Doesn't get any better than this, does it?
No, giant porgies, man, these are unbelievable. How long have you been out here at Greenport now?
26 years. Fishing out of Greenport, 26 years, 34 years in the business.
Right.
Before this, I was at Capt State Park, 7 years. And,
so what you do is you start, really, with the beginning of the fluke, that first or second week of May, whenever they decide to open it for us.
Yeah, we're dictated by the
right.
DEC, whatever they decide is the opening day, that's when we start.
And then you fluke through to when?
Well, sometime around the middle of July, the end of July, in this case this year. Depends on how I start to look at the season in July. By then I got a handle as to what's going on, how many porgies are around, how soon I should switch over, and how much demand there is.
Now you had great fluke and even right up until the 27th of July, and they're still here.
That was very good.
But the people wanted porgies. They were tired of fluke, huh?
Yeah. We were not carrying that many people, catching a lot of fluke, a lot of people limiting out. Nice fish. Last day, a pool fish was 6.5 pounds.
Wow.
But
we're here now, porgy fishing. I've been talking jumbo porgies, and it only gets better every day as we go all the way through October, November, right, Dave?
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah.
Now take us through that porgy season. What happens?
Well, it starts early. They're off their spawning season in the spring. I doubt very much. I talked to the crew. They let me know what's in the fish as they're cleaning them, what they're eating, and what the situation is with their spawning cycle. And they're pretty much off that right now.
Now the porgy bite starts kind of light and lifting like flounder and fluke bites. And what happens during the course of the season?
Well, as the season progresses, the fish become more aggressive. Noticeably aggressive, especially in like mid-September.
Right.
October is just, they're vicious.
Now we're fishing here in the gut today, and we got the ebb tide, which is really not the best tide for out here. How much does tide, make a difference when you're porgy fishing on the east end of the Long Island Sound?
It's everything. Wind and tide out here are everything. I mean, the whole day, any given day is determined. we went to where we were this morning based strictly on me catching the change of tide.
Right.
It was, I knew we'd have an hour and a half of hopefully decent fishing.
Which
you don't
we
know
did,
until
right.
you're there, which turned out that was a good assessment. And right now it's difficult. You're in the middle of the tide right now, and there's not much you can do.
Now, folks, I'm telling you, you folks know, you come see the Fishing Line Band play out and around. Dave is an old musician. I'm telling you, this is one of the best boats in the entire world to be on, because the tunes you play all day long, you'll hear songs that you know, but by people you don't know. Now, how did you come up with this idea of being such a tuneful boat all the time?
It's a hobby, and I enjoy playing music. I've always been a budding musician, I guess.
He plays the stereo and does a great job at it.
That's my instrument, CD player.
But there's so much music on this boat constantly, and there's something for everybody. No matter who you are, what you like, you will hear something like that on your boat, right, Dave?
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's get back to some tunes and some fishing.
You got it.
Just had another bite. Come on. There we go. Now, man, we got triple header. One for him, one in the middle, and one for RJ. Look at that. He got a little bagal there.
Oh, son, of all the fish. Of all the fish, man.
Woohoo!
Of all the fish, man.
There we go. Now I'm back on track. Yeah, that's a nice one.
He's on vacation. He's ready to eat anything. Yeah, right?
Look at that. Some of these open hard bottom. We're working a ledge and come up the ledge. There's a little ledge here in the gut that's holding these fish. Now, sometimes you'll notice that some of them have dark bars running across. That means they're hanging on the mussel beds. When you get these porgies that are hanging on mussel beds, you'll get dark bars, vertical bars. This one is on open bottom working some of the ledge. Let me put this in my bucket here. There we go, and I got one too. That's a nice double header there. Woo, baby! Yeah! Yeah, there we go. I had a double header and I dropped one of them because we're in them here thick. Look at this. These are all big, beautiful jumbo porgies. You don't even have to measure these. Look at that. They take a 2-0 hook easy. Yeah, perfect. Look at that.
Hey, Rich, they must be thick. Even I'm catching them.
See, what's happened is the bite has changed as the tide picked up hard and started to run. What I'm doing is we almost went from working the rod, working the rod like a fluke rod to working the rod like a flounder rod now. I'm just doing slow lifts off the bottom. Whoa, boy, look at that one. Woo! And as I was saying, what we do is now what I'm doing is I'm putting a sinker down the bottom and just doing a slow lift, like a flounder lift. I bounce a little bit, let it sit and lift it up slow, and then taking it on the lift off the bottom. So the bite has changed as the tide has picked up here. So, you know, porgy fishing just isn't always just putting the rod in the bottom and waiting for the fish to bite. Sometimes you got to entice them to come to you. So far today, we've done a couple different techniques on the rod. We'll show you some of those during the course of the show a little bit more in detail. Oh man, that thing hit. I might have had a second one jump on there. That's just a big one. Oh, Lord. Whoa! Man.
Oh, that's right.
Nothing wrong with that.
What a fish. Measure him, see if it's real.
Woo! Jumbo porgy time on the Peconic Star, Orient Point. Man, oh man. I can't even get my hands around some of these fish.
Last break, take now.
There he is. Oh my goodness. All right. Captains and guides have known for years the blood red color triggers a natural feeding response in fish. Fish ignore popular colors, but they can't resist taste testing the bleeding bait color. Now you can add the world's sharpest hooks and a natural feeding response in fish with Daiichi's bleeding bait hooks. In tests across the country, Daiichi bleeding bait hooks outfished ordinary hooks as much as 3 to 1. Whether you're worming for bass or chunking stripers, outfish your friends with Daiichi bleeding bait hooks.
Bomber. The one and only.
Hey folks, you've been coming to the fishingline.com site for years for the only up-to-the-minute fishing reports on the web. Now get the same great reports 24 hours a day by telephone. That's right, the new Fishing Line report line is up and running, and best of all, it's free. No membership fees, no pay-by-the-minute fees, it costs you nothing. A free phone call for the best updated reports 24 hours a day, all by phone. Call 516-977-2088, 516-977-2088. Why, you don't want to be on TV? It's his boat. Oh, there we go. Look at this one. Woo! You know, folks, we're underway here looking for our next drop to go slay some of these monster porgies out here. It'd be a good time to take a look at our tackle because it's not the light spinning tackle you would think we're using on the South Shore. Deep water, hard current, big patty, and kelp beds. Let's go look at our tackle for today's show. Now, as you can see, the tackle on today's show is a little bit stouter than some of the light spinning reels you might use in the shallow water on the South Shore of Long Island. What I've got is, if you saw the television show last year, I'm using a 6.5-foot glass rod we custom built with Hank Altenkirk in that episode from 2004. And what I'm using is a good 6.5 to 7-foot conventional rod. I like glass for this kind of fish, and that is a Sika blanket we built that rod out of, if you remember correctly. And my reel today is an Indiron 250. It's made by Akuma. It's a good conventional reel, star drag. It clicks, got good drag on it as well, and it holds plenty of line for what you want to do when we're fishing this deep water out here in the East End and the East End of Long Island Sound. My line today is a Tough Line XP braided line because of the fact I'm in deep water and hard currents. I'm using a 30-pound test braid line. Got a diameter of about 8-pound test. Allows me to get away with like 8 or 9 ounces while somebody else is using 10 or 12 or 14 ounces. And if you want to use monofilament, I would suggest at least 20-pound test out here because you got to come out of some snags. A good silver thread Excalibur line at 20-pound will be great for you. We'll show you our hooks and our rigs and the leader material to tie our rigs a little bit later in the show. Oh, baby. Man, oh, man. Woo!
That's a nice one for you.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to lay my rod down for a second.
7-8.
Our porgy rigs today are simple dropper loops tied into a stretch of leader material. I'm using the silver thread 30-pound test leader material. It's soft, it's supple, it's translucent, almost like a fluorocarbon, a lot less expensive and twice as strong. Now in this, it's a 30-pound test leader material. I'll tie in a series of drop loops, which we've shown you how to do on our rigging and tying show a few weeks back this season. And then I'll just take the small Daiichi 10 or 20 octopus hook, so it's a D18Z model hook, and slide that drop loop through the idle hook, wrap it around itself like we've shown you on television before, and allow the hook to just extend off the drop loop. Now you can go buy pre-packaged rigs like the Tide Ride Porgy rigs will work fine in this kind of fishing. You can go get pre-snelled hooks and insert your drop loops in the leader material and then just half hitch the snelled hook into that loop a couple of times and do it that way. But either way you want to do it, that's how you're going to catch jumbo porgies. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was he's taking drag. Somebody hold me in the boat. Yeah. Woo, man. Woo. Monsters, baby. Man, oh man, Kelly, remember we used to have to do them one by one?
Yep.
These electric...
Makes it easy with this electric scaler.
And you can get them at some of the local tackle shops. Now there's 2 or 3 different ways we can clean these big jumbo porgies and prepare them for the dinner table, right, Kelly?
Yes.
What's the first one you want to do?
Well, the first one we'll take the head off.
Right.
Usually slice them right down past the backbone. Pull, just rake the guts right out. Cleans it out one shot.
Right, just rinse a little bit of water, that's ready to go.
Just rinse it off, you're ready to go.
Okay.
Or else you can just reach up underneath the gills, pop that bone, pull straight back, it just guts it. You can leave the head on if you like to grill it.
Or steam it.
Or steam it, yep. And that's ready to go. Takes the gills and everything, gills and guts.
That's perfect, ready to go. Then of course we're going to fillet one.
And then you can either take the scales off.
Which we did already.
Which we did to these ones.
Right.
And you can, the skin will stay on these.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the skin on.
Which I do. Now that I have this electric scaler here, I'm going to start eating some fish with the skin on, nice and crispy like I used to like. Just like that, come on in behind the head, make a cut, follow down the spine. And these things just pop right off. We've shown the folks at home how to take the skins off it, but that's a great job, Kelly. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Let's call it a night. The party's over, and tomorrow starts.
That's it, Dave. Great job. Thanks to Dave Brennan, folks. Thanks for being with us here. Dave did a great job on these giant porgies up here in Greenport. This is going to go on all the way to November, right?
That it is.
Excellent. Did a great job, folks. Thanks for being with us. No matter where we are, we'll be in your backyard. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut this week. On a beautiful North Fork of Long Island, out of Greenport, and on a Peconic Star in Rhode Island. No matter where we are, we're fishing in your backyard. Thanks to Dave Brennan, our mates Kelly, Eric, and Dennis did a great job. Get out here on the North Fork. Wine country, God's country out here, right, Dave?
That it is.
Absolutely gorgeous. Make sure you get out here. Well, the party's over for today. We're out of town. We got to go. We'll see you next week right here on the fishing line. Thanks, Dave. Good job.
To add the uncut extended copy of this program to your library with unseen catches and captain's interviews, just follow the directions on the screen. The Fishing Line with Rich Johnson was brought to you by Boaters World, boating and fishing for the world. Boaters World. And by the Outdoor Channel, real outdoors for real people. The Outdoor Channel. Also brought to you in part by Bomber Lures, tie one on. Silver Thread Line, performance technology line. Yum Baits, start a feeding frenzy. Daiichi Hooks, the world's sharpest hooks. Yamaha, when you want the best. And by LIPA, the power of change. We'll see you next time on The Fishing Line. So long, everybody.